Hey, this is Jacob, and in this video, we're going over how to market your business on social media. Alright, so let's dive into how to market your business on social media. So here's the thing, the average daily time spent on social media is about 142 minutes. So we're looking at a little over 2 hours per day that's spent on social media. So just to kind of give it a little bit of context, on average, the human being sleeps about 8 hours per day. So 2 hours is about a quarter of the time that we spend sleeping, which is on social media. So that just goes to show you just how much time we spend on social media. So that may be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But I think it's safe to say that our target market, chances are, spending some of the time at least, on social media. So if you're a business or if you're marketing any type of product or service, it would be to your benefit to market yourself on social media and to devote some of your marketing time on there. So here's the thing. So there's a really useful framework to understand how to market yourself on social media, and it's something that's called the social cycle. Now, I can't take credit for this personally. I actually got this concept originally from Digital Marketer, but it helps to provide a framework for how you should be going about doing your social media marketing. So there's 4 distinct quadrants when it comes to the social cycle. So we're going to break each one down one by one. So each component is necessary to have a holistic social media marketing strategy. So once we go through all the different pieces, you're going to see exactly how this fits together. So the first component of the social cycle is referred to as social listening. So the idea of social listening is that it forms a foundation for the other 3 parts when it comes to your social media marketing. Without this foundational piece, it's going to be very hard to enact the other pieces of the social cycle. So you really want to pay attention and make sure that you spend a considerable amount of time when it comes to social listening. So just as the name implies, social listening is just listening to your target market on social media. You're just paying attention to what's going on around you, because as you're listening to them, you want to be paying attention to certain things. You want to be paying attention to what they're talking about, and more specifically, you want to be paying attention to what they're saying about you, to what they're saying about your business. So there's 5 things in particular you want to be paying attention to when you're doing your social listening. And the first thing you want to be paying attention to is obviously your brand or your business. So you want to be listening to the kind of conversations that your target market is saying about your brand. Are they saying positive things about your brand? Are they saying negative things about your brand? You want to be in tune with that. And if it's something negative, you want to be able to address that as soon as possible. So another thing you want to be paying attention to in your social listening is the topics that your target market is having. You want to listen to those types of conversations because that could help inform the type of products that you create, the type of content that you share with your audience. You want to see what's already happening and just find a way to kind of mix and mingle and kind of blend right in with what's already happening. Also, you want to be paying attention to what your competitors are talking about as well, because that could also give you some insights as well as to what your target market is caring about, and it can give you some ideas for the types of content that you want to share, because if your competitor is doing something that's resonating with your target market, then it might be a good idea for you to share like some similar content. Also, you want to be paying attention to the influencers in your niche as well, because you know that when it comes to your target market, there's going to be certain people that they're going to be paying attention to a lot more than others. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to those people that are already influencing your target market, because this could also give you ideas as far as like coming up with content to share with your audience. And also the public facing people of your company. So if you have like a founder or CEO or president or VP, somebody who is in the higher ranks of your company, you want to be paying attention to what kind of conversations or what types of things that your audience is talking about in regards to those people. Whoops. So next, the next part of the social cycle is referred to as social influencing. So the goal with social influence is that you want to be actively shaping the thoughts, opinions, and the attitudes of your target market. So there's a couple of ways that we can go about doing that. So one of the ways we can go about shaping the beliefs and the ideas of our target market is through blogging. So with blogging, you're just sharing valuable content with your target market by helping them dispel like any myths or any objections, by just giving them you're just giving them like valuable information and educational stuff that could be really useful for them. And there's also video as well. Like if you're a person that's naturally, if you're comfortable with being on camera, then video can be a really powerful way for you to influence the thoughts and the ideas and the attitudes of your target market. And there's also podcasting as well. They're like, if you prefer this medium where you're not really too comfortable on camera and you don't really like writing, then podcasting could be really good as well. Like if you enjoy talking and you have like a lot of valuable content to share in that manner. So there's a few main goals that we have when it comes to influencing, like when it comes to social influencing. One of the things we want to do is that we want to increase the engagement with our business or brand. So we're definitely paying attention to the social signals, like post reactions, like are they liking our stuff, are they commenting, are they sharing it. We want them to engage with us so that way they can see us sort of like as an authority. Also, we also want to create conversations around topics that's related to our business as well, because once we're able to create those conversations, it makes it a lot easier later on for us to slip in the sales pitch and to show them and to talk about our product or service. Also, we want to create like awareness for our products or offers as well. So by being able to influence the attitudes of our target market by getting them to talk about the things that are relevant to our business, now we're able to start to generate that awareness for our products, and we're able to lay the groundwork to sell them our product later on down in the cycle. So the next part of the social cycle is referred to as social networking. So with social networking, the goal is we want to connect with like-minded influencers and authorities that's already in our niche. So an easier way to do this is just by sharing other businesses' content. So if you see somebody that you would like to form a relationship with, and you see that they have a blog and they're posting a lot of content and stuff, then it would be a good idea for you to share some of your content with your audience. You're showing them that you're kind of endorsing them like publicly, and it helps to kind of build that goodwill. So you want to think of ways that you can form mutually beneficial partnerships with other brands in your niche. And by doing this, you're able to expand your network, and you don't have to necessarily rely on your own marketing efforts. You can leverage the efforts of other people. And so you want to really treat networking like a long-term strategy. This isn't something that's necessarily going to pay off tomorrow or the day after. This is something that's going to pay off over time. So you have to constantly keep building that goodwill with people that are like influencers and stuff. You want to keep sharing other people's content and just kind of keep that conversation going for the long term. Don't think of this as something that's just going to work like overnight. So next is the final part, which is probably part you've been waiting for, because ultimately, like when we're building a business, we want to make money. So this is really where the money happens, which is social selling, the final part of the social cycle. So in this part, our goal really here is just to promote our products and services through social media. So this could be through Facebook, it could be through Twitter, it could be through Instagram. Any social media, we can really just promote our products and services. So here's the thing, here's a quick caveat though, when it comes to promoting our products on social media, you want to ensure that you have some type of funnel in place before you start promoting your products. And pretty much a funnel just represents the journey that your audience takes from being a stranger to ultimately becoming a customer. Now think about it this way, right? Let's say you're in a relationship, you want to be in a relationship with someone. You can't just walk up to that person, you never met this person the day before in your life, and then you just say to them, hey, would you like to marry me? That'd be a little bit creepy, and you probably would just blow any chance you have of being with that person. But if you look at that relationship or being with that person from a long-term perspective, you might start off with hey, can I invite you out to coffee sometimes? And then you and you have coffee with them, you kind of talk a bit, you start to learn about each other, learn about their interests, and then you go on another date with them. But then you build up to that point where ultimately you get to the point where you want to marry them. But it doesn't just happen automatically. There's a building up process that has to take place first. So moving on, I think I've kind of nailed that point there. Here we go. Oops, sorry about that. Let me just pause this real quick. We're having some technical difficulties. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that. Having some technical difficulties here. So I'm just going to give you a quick representation of what a funnel kind of looks like, just to give you a practical example. So let's say you're on Facebook, for instance, and all of a sudden they kind of see an ad out of nowhere, right? You're promoting some type of lead book, or maybe it's a blog post, or whatever the case may be, right? So then they see an ad. So from the ad, they go and they land on your blog. They land on your website, maybe it's like a landing page, or it's a blog post or something like that. And then from there, from the blog post, they go and they get added onto your email list. And then once they're on your email list, as you continue to follow up with them, eventually it gets to the point where they're actually at a point where they're ready to actually purchase something from you. So that's essentially how it works. You go from like an ad to like your website, from your website to your email list, and then from your email list, ultimately they become a customer. So this is just like a basic idea of like how a funnel works. So now that we finished going over that, we're going to go over like a couple of tips when it comes to like marketing on social media that I think is really useful. So the first thing you want to do is like you want to make sure that you choose the right social media platform. And essentially what I mean by that is like you want to focus on platforms that your target market is already on. So what's cool is that most niches can already be found like on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're in a relatively broad niche where it's like under like health or wealth or relationships or something like that, more likely than not, you're going to find your niche on Facebook and YouTube. But when in doubt, you can always check forums, but definitely check Facebook and YouTube when it comes to social media. Next step for like marketing on social media is that you want to make sure that you have like some sort of calendar in place. A calendar is just ultimately going to help you stay organized and on track, so that way you're making sure that you're posting on a consistent basis. So when you're able to maintain that level of consistency in your marketing, when you're constantly showing up and you're constantly like providing value to the marketplace, people are going to notice that, and it's going to get to a point where they're going to want to do business with you. So next thing is that you want to make sure that you're building a community as well when it comes to social media. It's really easy to do that, especially with Facebook. You can create a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group or something like that. You got to remember ultimately why people are on social media in the first place, which is that they want to socialize, they want to connect with their friends, they want to connect with their families, they want to socialize with like-minded people. So like I said, you can create a group for free on Facebook, and if you already have a Facebook page already, you can connect that Facebook page to your Facebook group, and now you can interact in that Facebook group as your Facebook page. So it's really useful. Next, you want to make sure that you're sharing quality content as well on social media. Because here's the thing, people like to follow people that can point them in the right direction. So when you're constantly showing up and you're providing like valuable content on social media, people are going to look to you as some sort of an authority. And here's the cool part about this, you don't need to be the expert. There is no reason for you to be like the full-on expert in anything whatsoever. It's all about being able to know a little bit more than the next person and being able to point them in the right direction. And it's very simple. You can just find the top blogs that are in your niche, and you could just share 1 or 2 articles per week from that list. Now obviously you want to kind of read through that article and make sure that you agree with it for the most part, but it could be as simple as that, just by sharing some value with another person. And it doesn't have to be necessarily you that wrote it, but by sharing that value, people look at you as a person that shares value. And that's what's most important. Be that person that can point people in the right direction. So anyways, I just want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this particularly useful when it comes to like marketing your business on social media. Ultimately, you got to look at marketing as a marathon and not as a sprint. It's going to take consistently showing up, sharing value, listening to your audience and paying attention to what's going on. If you keep doing this on a consistent basis, then you're going to find social media to be very valuable for you when it comes to growing your business and when it comes to just gaining that necessary exposure, so that way you can grow your business to the levels that you want to grow it to. So I hope you got value from this video. Once again, if you're watching this video right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon, so that way you can be part of the notification squad as soon as the next video drops. This is Jay Blaguer signing off. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.